Now, I want to introduce Allison Hartman.
I want to meet the girl who does not run her country the way I do not run my country. I want to meet the girl who hides in a crowd, who laughs into her hand, who is not in the picture. The girl who stands back after being introduced by her parents in a way she wouldn't choose, who turns her head to one side so she doesn't miss seeing what's there. Where is she? An unknown person once said that to have a friend and be a friend is what makes life worthwhile. However, individuals with Asperger's syndrome, a social disorder, have both trouble making friends and trouble fitting in. This can lead to teasing and bullying, but once they get a friend, they don't need to worry anymore. As seen in Aspergirls, Empowering Females with Asperger's Syndrome by Rudy Simone, and the Aspie Teen Survival Guide by J.D. Krause, interspersed with poetry by Naomi Shihab Nye, Mary Oliver, and Adam Young. Despite a love of learning and an appetite for information, Aspergirls do not all enjoy school the way others might think that they would. For some, school is too slow, too restrictive, for we are often unable to read what we like or study in the areas of our passions. Social issues are yet another minefield to navigate, and an obstacle on the path to our desire to learn as much as possible, as quickly as possible. I was not classic autistic. I had no learning deficits. I was a happy, eccentric child who was tolerated, if not well liked. I read as fast as I possibly could, which was pretty fast. I made all the other kids giggle. 5- and 6-year-olds can be much more tolerant than older kids. My uncoolness was my coolness. I had many friends. Until adolescence. I ask every now and then, is it over yet? Will I ever smile again? I'm on my own, but the more I try to move on, the more I feel alone. Lacking social skills makes it very hard for me to get along with people and maintain friendships. Before any of you ask me, say that you don't want any friends. I think that is a common expression of loneliness. There are times I want to have friends, but at the same time I want to be alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone. But I've learned that being alone for a long time can make a person lonely and ill. I would stare up at the ceiling and feel the isolation and loneliness build up inside of me. There was no one to call, no one to hang out with, no one. Nothing. They said something mean about me. So my heart wandered into the rainy night without them and found a canopy to hide under. My eyes started seeing through things like gauze, old self through new self. My flexible body went backwards and forwards in time. Stiff lip won't help. All at once, my idiosyncrasies became uncool almost overnight. My social deficits, which prior to that point had just been differences, became glaring holes in my persona. At first, I was merely ostracized, losing my friends one by one. But then the threats began. By this time, I had no one to sit with at lunch, so I usually spent it hiding somewhere. Physical fights became an almost daily probability. Singing and laughing, my two favorite things, became supplanted by mutism and crying. As anyone who's ever been bullied can tell you, Once the air around you is poisoned, you are a target for everyone. From the strongest to the weakest, they will all want to take a shot at you. How does a girl who was once a gifted and popular student fall so far? That time, I thought I could not go any closer to grief without dying. I went closer and I did not die. My laughter, as the poet said, was nowhere to be found. Then said my friend, "It's not the weight you carry, but how you carry it. Books, bricks, grief. It's all in the way you embrace it, balance it, carry it, when you cannot and would not put it down." So I'm practicing. Have you noticed? When they hear the words Asperger's syndrome or even autism, most people probably think of the film Rain Man. But this kind of individual was an autistic savant. Even more aggravating, people degrade us for being different. People in this world can be bad, unfair, or even misled. There will be times when it'll seem hopeless. It's just part of the ups and downs of life. A lot depends on what you focus on. If you dwell on the bad, you'll only feel bad. If you persevere with the good, you'll feel better. Focus on the good traits you have rather than your disadvantages. You have much to look forward to. There were days when each hour was a war. I fought to survive. There were skies that burst open with a downpour to drown me alive. But the world took a spark, like a match in the dark, and the fire brought me to life. Don't let the fire die. You'll find there'll be mornings when the ashes and embers are cold, but fight with a passion and never stop, 'cause you know it gets better, and your story is yet to be told. Every push, every shove, every war. The coals are beginning to glow. When it's all said and done, you'll shine like the sun, so don't let the fire die. Watch the sky as it fills with light. And though the embers are new, whatever you do, just don't let the fire die. Don't let the fire die. It gets better.